Me, Hrishi K, and everybody at Radio 1. Wonderful to see you. How are you?
Thank you very much. As always, a great joy and a pleasure to be talking to you.
Sujoy, how are you?
I'm good, sir.
I know you're a reluctant singer. You've always told me that through the years. Whenever I've interviewed you, you said you're a little reluctant about singing. But again, you've knocked it out of the park. And this time you've done some rap and hip-hop. You obviously worked a lot at it, but you seem to be enjoying yourself. I've just caught the video with Clinton Cerejo.
I will again repeat myself. I don't know how to sing, but sometimes, they come with this request, and it's not a request. It's like a death threat. Do it, otherwise. And so out of fear for getting thrown out of the film, I just go ahead and do it. It's really tough. I mean, singing is really tough, but to do this kind of singing is the worst ever. It's very tough to catch the rhythm of hip-hop, to catch the rhythm of rap. Everyone thinks it's the easiest thing in the world. No, it isn't. You have to... There are times when you're singing, you take, let's say, for example, 15-20 seconds to cover, say, one word or two words. But when you have 25 words to say in 15 seconds, that's requires a huge amount of talent. I don't have it. So all credit to the people who do it. All credit to the people who develop this kind of music. A lot of people are shocked and astonished and don't like it. But look at where it's gone. I mean, I remember 80s, 90s, US and New York, when rap was just beginning to become very big, and I had some lawyer friends, and they said, I've just been appointed a lawyer for this guy who's doing rap music. I couldn't understand a word of it, but just because he's employed me, I'm just representing him. But it's built and it's created an own country almost by itself, an own atmosphere, and how wonderful. And when you see films and when you see these youngsters doing it, when you see people who are almost from the slum areas doing it, it characterizes not just their life, but what their feelings are towards life, and how wonderful to be able to see that.
Well, as his fan, and so are you, you've said that on many an occasion. I remember Abhishek, no disrespect to Abhishek, he did a great job doing a song with Vishal Shekhar and Bluffmaster, which at the time was the first rap hip-hop thing. There seems to be some genes at play there.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Right Here, Right Now was amazing, the way he did it. And I think it's also in him. He's a little reluctant to sing, but you should see Abhishek on stage. He's a different animal. I mean, he sings, he raps, he does everything. He's a beast out there on stage. But he's very sort of different in real life. But I think it's in him. Right Here, Right Now was supreme.
Well, Tapsi visited us in the studio, and she said that when she suggested to Sujoy that he direct this film, he refused. And only after you asked him, he said yes. Is there any truth to that, both of you?
Yeah, I insisted that he make this film. I think when you work with someone, or having worked with someone in the past, and you know their temperament, you know how they will work, I think there is a certain level of comfort, and that's very important, I think, for any artist. If I can be comfortable in front of the camera, it takes care of a lot of things. And then when you know the person, you have the liberty to be able to talk to him, to be able to, rarely make that suggestion, take in what he has to say. Because you understand him, you know exactly where he's coming from, and it makes our job a lot easier.
So react to Tapsi's good-humoured, good-natured accusation that initially you said no, but when this wonderful gentleman asked you, you said yes.
Yeah, Tapsi, yaar. Yes, that is the truth. But when Tapsi did offer me to do, I was not really in that mode to do that film at that point of time. So, yeah, Tapsi is right. I normally wouldn't agree with her, but this time she is right, yes.
Mr. Bachchan, I remember a film at the fag end of the 80s where you were with Miss Amrita Singh. It was called Mard. and I quite enjoyed it at the time. And here she is again in this film. Do you have enough scenes with her, or do your character paths traverse, or
Yeah, I think you'll have to see the film for me to be able to answer this question, because if I answer it now, I'll be revealing the story. But yes, it's wonderful to be with her again. I mean, we've done films together, and I think you will understand that with age there's a lot of maturity that comes in all of us, not just getting bald and getting grey hair, but the way you face your camera, the way you perform, and Amrita, certainly you will find that element in her in this film.
I really enjoyed both the kahanis. I enjoyed Teen, which you produced. After such an association with Mr. Bachchan, which now spans, this is the third film, is Bangla the lingua franca on the set? Because I remember Shujit Da telling me during Piku in this very room, saying that he enjoys talking to him in Bangla.
Yeah, Bengali is the only language. I mean that sir is extremely fluent in. I mean, even though he doesn't admit. Yeah.
I know a few pertinent expressions, but beyond that, nothing else. And everyone thinks that just because I'm able to speak those lines, I know the language. I don't. Having said that, I have to say and admit that when I was working in Calcutta in a managing agency house, where your salary was 500 rupees, the company used to give you 3,000 rupees to be able to go and learn Bengali and give an examination, because they were managing agents for like paper, coal, and it helped the executive to be able to converse with the workers, and that's why they encouraged their executives to learn the language. So I took the 3,000 rupees and spent it in a week's time, and never spent it on a tutor or anything like that. And because we had Bengali friends, we just learned a lot of things. And the Bengal Chamber of Commerce used to hold an examination to test you. And so we went there, gave the examination, somehow passed. That's as far as we got. But it's a beautiful language. But I tell you what is really good about Bengali is the scripting, is the writing. Every word is like a painting. And just writing Bengali is a great art. I used to be able to do that when I was in Calcutta, but now, of course, been out of touch with it.
But you've had such great practice over the years, whether it's with Rishi Da, Hrishikesh Mukherjee, Mrinal Sen, Basuda, and now this wonderful crop of new directors. Yes. So great opportunities to practice.
Yeah. No, whenever possible, yes. I think being able to convey in the language, their mother tongue, it's always very helpful. You understand them better, they understand you better. And that's how it is. Yeah.
I'm going to come back to the soundtrack. I mean, you've got a very interesting, eclectic bunch of people there. One is, of course, Clinton, who's done the rap, hip hop, and rock feel with Sir. Yeah, the score for the film. There's Anupam Roy, who I heard his songs in Piku, which were fantastic. And of course, the Young Brigade, which is Amal and Arman. So, just a little bit about the soundtrack and your choice of these wonderful directors.
See, the songs in the soundtrack basically reflects the emotion of the film, and the things that the characters are going through, each individual character is going through. And I think we chose a few individual like Clinton and Anupam and Amal and Arman because they just seemed right. I mean, at that point we just chose because they, and they had some beautiful songs, and they made even more, beautiful after they produced it together. Clinton got Sir to sing. Anupam sang it himself, and it just turned out to be very good.
There's this wonderful picture of Shah Rukh's son Abram with you, and you write on that saying, and because this is a Red Chillies film, I bring it up, saying he really thinks that you're his grandfather. It's odd that you don't live there. Is that true?
Yeah, that's what I came to know from Shah Rukh's family. My daughter, spends a lot of time with them and with Abram. And he must have said this at some point of time, but he's really cute. So that photograph was when it was Aradhya's birthday and he had come to the birthday party. So I took him around, gave him a few things to eat, and he actually thinks that. And I think he asked Shah Rukh this, that because I think he saw Kabhi Khushi Kabhi Gum and related immediately and said, if he's your father, why isn't he staying with you?
Beautiful. Well, you're a lawyer here in Badla, and you know, in the US, for example, lawyers are considered notorious. In India, there's always been a healthy respect for the law, and given the fact that you've played these lawyer characters, you must now be more sensitive to the demands of their profession and the amount of work they have to put in, both even if they're doing court work or if they're doing background work. So just lawyers and their profession.
It's a very responsible job. There's a lot of work that goes in from the back end. There have been occasions when I've had to seek their help, and they will come, they will ask you, they will spend time with you, and the very nature of their questioning, the very nature of what information they need, then they will go back, they will put everything down on paper, they will seek your guidance, they will seek your approval, and it's so meticulous. But to be able to know the law, to know every angle of how to protect their client, we are unable to think that way. And they have that mind, and they have the knowledge of the law to be able to suggest to you, if you say this is what can happen. If you take this route, this may not be the right way to go about it. So it's really a fantastic profession, and I have great admiration and respect and regard for them.
Sujoy, tell me about the other cast members other than Taapsee and Mr. Bachchan. If it's giving too much of the story away, don't tell me what characters they play. But I believe there's Manav Kaul, there's of course Amrita Singh, and a couple of actors who we don't know much about, who are playing the husband, Taapsee's husband and the lover.
Well, there's one gentleman called Tony Luke. We are introducing him in this film. There's him, and there's another boy called Shom Makhija who's also playing Taapsee's husband. So yeah, they were characters that we were tested and put on those roles. As simple as that.
No, but were you very particular that they shouldn't be known faces? Because the stature that you have in the business, you can make a few phone calls and very recognized actors will come and work with you. Of course they will. So was the requirement that they should be unknown characters?
The person who gives me an audience is sitting right beside you. You think I can't. Nobody will take my call, and that's the honest truth.
Wow. Is it true he just walked into the Aladdin set and you had no clue and he just walked up to you? No, sorry, I beg your pardon. Before Aladdin, he walked into your set trying to pitch Aladdin. Let me rephrase that question.
No, that was another film, Borivali. I actually forget that moment, but he has the liberty to walk in anywhere. I mean, not only he, anybody, it's just anybody. You come and visit me on my set.
So you tell me about that first time. Did you like...
I just came to meet Sir because I was doing this script called Borivali, and I really wanted him to read it, which Sir did eventually. Yeah, that's it. Because if you don't know anything, that's the only way to do it.
Sujoy, thank God I haven't seen the original Spanish film because I'm on the 8th. I'm just going to approach Badla with a totally fresh sense. But from the original, I believe you tweaked the characters. Like the lawyer is a lady and you've changed that to a gentleman. And how similar is it from the original script?
It's quite similar. I mean, it has to be similar because if something is extremely good and perfect, why would you destroy it? It's like saying, hey, there's Taj Mahal, how can I change it? I'll paint it red. It doesn't work like that. So you maintain, you preserve the goodness of the original script, and you try to make it more palatable to an Indian audience because the original script that was written by the gentleman is a Spanish script meant for a Spanish audience with a lot of things in there. So we try to make it our own. So my mother sitting and watching would relate to the script, will relate to the character, will relate to the environment within which the characters are set. So that's how we do it. But yes, we do maintain, we hold on to the good thing, which the original bring to us because, no point looking at this girl and marrying that one.
So in Pink, I remember he was a bit of an oddball character. He would be up at night and, be a little shifty and things like that. Is this a more straight-jacketed lawyer who just gets down to the business, or does he have his eccentricities and quirks?
I think he's just a very plain and simple lawyer who's been employed to help his client. Everything that he does in the film is working towards that.
Okay, last few questions. I want to know your fitness regime. I mean, I'm not going to ask you the cliched one saying, how are you so young and this and that, but just out of curiosity, do you do a bit of weights? Do you run? Do you do some cardio? Do you do some yoga, some stretching? Just, it's not a trick question, it's really curiosity.
But just a little bit of everything. Some getting on the treadmill, doing some light weights. I'm not allowed to do heavy things because I've damaged my wrists and my shoulder. I can't use this hand. It's my better hand. And there's a huge medical history of mine, so the doctors asked me to go slow. But yeah, just the normal stuff. Very little, very sensibly, but yes, something has to be done every day.
How much would you, for example, walk? Would you walk for 20-minute stretches or 15 or 10 or what is it?
20-minute stretches at 5 and 7.
A travel destination you went to over the last couple of years and you said, wow, this is amazing. You've probably seen more than half the world or perhaps the whole world. But
Actually, but I think that home is always home. Every time you go out somewhere, you feel you need to come back as soon as possible. All the destinations are nice. They're wonderful. They treat you well when you go there. But yes, it's always good to be back home.
But is there a place in 2018 that you went to, for example, that you really thought was special?
I was shooting in Bulgaria for Brahmastra, and I went to Russia for the World Cup. And I must say that both the places were just extraordinary. I've been to Soviet Russia when it was Soviet Union in 84, 85, 86. And been there now again on a couple of times. It's completely changed. And I have to say that their organization for the World Cup was just incredible. I mean, the entire world was so apprehensive. World Cup in Russia, there'll be problems, there'll be this, will they be able to manage it? It was the best World Cup. I went to the one in Brazil. With all due respect, this one was just incredibly well managed, beautifully executed, not a single complaint from anyone.
It's so wonderful to see you on social media supporting our forces and showing so much pride at Abhinandan coming back. What is it that we need to do at an individual level? It's not a preachy question. At an individual level to heal the world. There is so much conflict these days. How can we just live in peace?
Yeah, you said the right word. I hope that we can live in peace. But yes, if there's confrontation, then I'm with the country and with the forces.
Thank you, sir. I'm going to ask you the same question. What's your fitness routine? Do you run? Do you do a bit of yoga, or do you don't do any fitness at all? Are you like me?
No, nothing. I eat. That's my superpower, eating.
Your superpower, like Batman and Super.
Yeah, I'm very good at eating. I mean, I can...
Like Macher Jhol and
Anything. I can grow into any large t-shirt.
Lovely.
Mishti doi, shondesh, roshogulla, everything.
Kuch bhi dalo, samne lao.
Lovely. Is there a travel destination you went to and said, wow, I mean, this is breathtaking? What would that be?
Not really. Sorry, I'm sort of repeating him. I just go to wherever my mother is. That's the wow place.
No, but still, over the last year, you must have gone somewhere.
Many places. I'll be very honest with you. I don't travel that much. I go right to Kolkata, left to mother.
But you filmed in Glasgow in Scotland. Did you get some time off at least to to go around? I mean, you've lived in the UK, for example.
Yeah, I mean, but that's where I stayed most of my life. So it's nothing new. But yeah, I mean, it's a great place. Yeah.
How can we? How can we today try and heal the world at an individual level?
I don't know. I think by changing the way you think and being an example to your children. I mean, that's what I would do it. I would do things which I think are right, and hopefully my children will follow me, and hopefully their children will follow there. And I mean, that's how I would do it. I mean, maybe I'm wrong, maybe I'm right, but...
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Was he very strict? Did he allow you some time off in Glasgow, Scotland, so that you guys could go and visit places and things like that? Was it just shooting aback?
He used to threaten me every evening that we should go out somewhere, but it's enough having him on set for almost 18, 19 hours.
I have to compete with World Cup to take sir out.
Oh, just kidding. It's always great fun, but after a day's work, you just want to be by yourself. And there were a lot of sporting events that were on at that time, Premier League football and so on and so forth. So it's good to go back there and have a look at the game.
Thank you so much, sir. You're very kind.
Thanks very much. Thank you.